Right,
There we go. Now we're up and running. Here we go. I'll give you guys a face to see. Here we go. How's everybody doing this morning? Or this afternoon, I guess.
Great.
Awesome, guys. No, I appreciate you guys all hopping on here. You know, I think that the one thing that, you know, number one focus here is to provide more, not only resources for the borrowers and becoming loan ready, but optimizing their position in the market, right? You know, obviously we've seen a lot of changes over the past couple of years, from going from what, a 2.35 interest rate all the way up to where we're at. Inventory, we had a big inventory scare. Building is down 11%. There's a lot of things that are changing with potential buyers in the market. So being more prepared and then the best loan position is what our focus is. So what that means for you guys is clients that maybe we wouldn't normally be able to turn, either, you know, get the single mom that wants to get her kid into a good neighborhood, or the people that are struggling either financially or on the credit end to either, you know, accomplish their goals, get down payment. A lot of these guys aren't even familiar with what closing costs are going to look like, or maybe their credit, they're just scraping in the door. You know, so our ultimate goal with your borrowers, and where the biggest benefit will come from you guys, is getting these guys into a position to buy. Ultimately, my number one focus is to spend as least amount of time as possible with your borrowers that are either seeing credit issues, or, you know, struggling on the other end, and saying, hey guys, are ready to go. So that obviously in the long term will mean more commission for you guys. So again, UQUAL, is you qualify. That's what it's short for. You know, essentially that is our biggest focus, focusing on the four major pillars of what it looks like to get loan ready, and to make these guys not only that, but teach them things that, you know, that they're not familiar with, that we weren't taught in school, as far as how to manage their finances properly, understand that the budget that they do have money available. You know, standard of living is something that we've grown accustomed to based off of, you know, what we're used to spending. You know, we don't think we're overspending, so that's why we never think we have money. So really bringing it to perspective for these guys, and getting them in the absolute best position. So you know, I'm going to open it up first of all to anybody that has any initial questions. I'll certainly write them down. I would love to answer those for you guys as we go along. Anybody got anything?
Yes,
Margaret, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Oh, well, my first question is there a charge for them to be entered into the program?
That's a great question. Yes, there is. So for you guys, no, but for them, what we will do is we'll start out with a free credit consultation with them, which will allow us to do a soft pull, run over the details of what their credit report or their challenges are coming in. At that point, if they do decide to get going with us, it is $59 to get the ball rolling, and $99 a month, no contract. So it takes 2 months. That's it. You know, if it takes longer, obviously some people are going to be coming in with a few more issues than somebody else.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And then one thing I will also always, you know, tell you guys that, you know, and again, you know, our goal is to kind of have that other end, you know, where you guys would typically rely on the lender to maybe give particular advice. You know, one thing I always open my door of, in 16 years in the business, I've been in a 5 myself, is offering those consultations, right? Which means, you know, sometimes we can coach people or advise people and push them in the right direction. Doesn't mean they necessarily need the service, right? If it means a closed deal for you guys, that ultimately will mean more referrals for me in the long run. So anything I can do to provide additional value, assistance, guidance, knowledge, you know, I'm here for it. Just genuinely have a passion for wanting to help. So whatever that looks like for you guys and where I can step in is absolutely, I want to be every possible tool. I want to be a Swiss Army knife for you guys.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to jump into the first one. It's going to be more tailored to toward you guys. And we're going to kind of run through a presentation here. And then following that, what we'll do is we'll hop into a client demonstration. This is what their portal looks like. This is what their interaction looks like, the tools that they have available that's going to help them all the way around. So bear with me one moment. Let me make sure I get this up and running to where you don't have to see all the other stuff. All right, what are you doing here? Bear with me one moment, guys. Boom up. All right, I am. There we go. Let me know. Do you guys see?
Yes, we see.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, again, biggest focus here is a proven loan ability for all, whether that's bettering somebody's situation or whether that is us, getting them there to begin with. So again, this one's tailored more towards the lender, so I'm going to kind of skip over it. Biggest thing here, we came from 16 years in the credit repair industry, actually, right? So we were one of the first companies to be strictly mortgage centric, which is focusing around, what it takes, to actually get approved for the loan. What accounts are going to have the highest impact on credit scores. I tell you that I think the biggest complication or the biggest confusion that we see with credit in when people think they're ready is that they go to Credit Karma, they go to CreditWise, they go to all these different places, right? Everybody's giving you a completely different score. But understanding the actual metric of the FICO or the Classic or the Beacon scale is very confusing for them because they might see their score at a 680 and they're like, oh, great. Hey, Margaret, I think I'm ready to go. Let's start looking for homes. Well, then you send them over to the lender. They go for pre-approval, pulling in a 570 whenever they saw a 680, and it's so confusing and it's kind of heartbreaking for the buyers in the market. They're like, I just don't understand what I'm doing or how to do it right. So that's a big focus of what we're doing. Big reasons why we see clients decline, DTI issues, down payment money, closing cost, time of credit history, tax liens, bankruptcies, things like that showing up. So these are all elements that we're going to focus on with the borrowers we're going through and what we're going to update you guys on, right? So we're going to team up on this to provide the best possible outcome as quickly as possible for these guys. So obviously closing more loans, getting these clients happy as we go along and we're working with these guys. Our goal is also to pull more referrals from them, right? Because if they're happy with service, they see a path. Next thing you know, they got their cousins, their friends, everybody else. And the very first place that we're going to send them back to is obviously over to you guys. So as we're working with these guys, the ultimate goal is to bring in more business for you. So loan readiness, again, we changed from credit repair. Not everybody loves the word credit repair. They feel like, you get into a program like this, they want to drag their feet, right? Take as much money as they can from you and provide just enough results to keep you engaged. Well, being in a mortgage loan readiness or a mortgage centric business, obviously we find the value behind getting clients back to you as quickly as possible because we absolutely know that's what's going to drive more business for us. We will do a 3 bureau report. It's not a hard report for the borrower. This does allow us to, obviously we don't want to take any points away from them as we're working on things, and we do work on all 3 of the bureaus as far as the credit aspect of it goes. They even have, and you'll see this in the next slide that or in the presentation I do. They can even get their documents together. It's not something that we have access to. It is proprietary for the buyer. But as they need certain documentation to make sure that they're ready to go whenever it comes loan time, they can simply hit a button, send that over to the lender. You know, that takes a big stress off of you guys, like stressing out with the lender, making sure that they have everything in order. So we're gonna provide the tools for that as well. So again, this is the way it works for you guys. You simply, and I'm a little bit more hands-on, right? You know, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, but you will actually have a portal here that you'll be able to pop in any declined clients that you have, any clients that have any credit challenges. What that'll also allow you guys to do is track these borrowers as they're going around along and actually see the progress. Also, a lot of my realtors love it because they use it kind of as their pipeline, right? You know, you don't talk to a client for 2 to 3 months. You pop back in here, you have all their information right there ready to go. So it actually is organizationally, it actually makes it easier for you guys as well. You will see this thing called a loan readiness score. This score is going to be based off of the 4 pillars. Do they have the down payment? Where is their DTI at? Is their credit ready to go? Do they have their paperwork? So you'll see that number go from 0 to 100. Typically, as you see in that number get closer to that 80 mark that you see right there, that'll give you a good indication they're ready to go. Now we will talk about these clients as we're going along. So don't worry, I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. I typically follow up with you as the realtors every 30 days, you know, that the client is enrolled, you know, because I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on. I want you to reach out and I want you to keep that relationship, because whenever they feel like there's multiple people working on every aspect for the borrower, they feel more engaged, they feel more likely to do the right thing. But then also we want to make sure that you're not losing out on the business and they're coming strictly back to you. That is absolutely our number one focus. So the borrower updates, this is what it looks like for you guys. So as you're putting in the clients, you'll see right up here, add a lead. This will be where you're able to enter in the information. I will tell you the one thing that I like to do, if you guys have any additional information about the buyer, you know, maybe they have a certain situation going on or whatnot, feel free to shoot me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email and say, hey, you know, they're on a 2 to 3 month time frame. This is what it looks like. This is why we need to get them out, or this is what their finances. You know, any additional information is certainly helpful. It helps us set goals around, you know, what they got going on. Questions that we will ask the buyers we're going through will be like, okay, well, how much of a loan are you trying to get approved for? You know, what kind of loan are we going for? So we're going to get as much information as possible, whether it's an FHA loan, whether it's a VA, whether it's a conventional jumbo, et cetera. It'll help us set goals and parameters around, you know, their progress. So that way you guys can see what's going on. Behavior modification. I think this is super cool, right? A big thing is, like, you know, a lot of these people in the past, they'll get sent over, they'll work with somebody, they're hoping that the service just works for them. You know, what we want to do in the process is make these guys more financially literate and disciplined. The last thing you want them to do is to do something stupid, open an account, close an account, you know, just not do the right things in the process. So what we're doing is we're actually coaching these guys and teaching them the importance of this as we're going along. So it's interactive coaching that we're following up with these guys every 30 days. We're assigning these guys tasks. We're giving them things to keep them on board with what they need to do. And as we go along, we're going to celebrate the victories. We're going to send out notifications, say, great job. You know, your score went up, your loan readiness score went up. You know, thanks for providing your paperwork, whatever it is. So we, in between our calls, we're staying engaged with the buyers as well. So at the end of the day, like I said, the biggest thing for us is if we can get more deals closed for you, that means more money in your pocket. Typically, I will tell you, as far as a return rate that we do see with our clients that do come over, you know, I'm just going to throw it out. If you send me over 20, I get 12 on board. My goal is to get 10 back, between 6 to 10 back ready to go. You know, I'd say 50%. You know, I don't want to over promise any more than that. I mean, we do typically see a little bit higher of a rate, but we'll say 50%. So 50% of the leads that we got coming into the system that we're able to work with, we're typically able to get you about 50% of those back. I will stop it there, open it up one more time, see if you guys have any questions before I kind of hop into what it looks like on the client's end.
Yes, I have another question.
Yes.
Are you guys the lender?
We are not the lender. No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, we are strictly the loan readiness specialist.
Okay, so if I already work with the lender I send them to you to get them ready, then you kick them back out to me, and then I send them to my lender.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, we want you to use who you're using. And again, me being like the communication guru I love, if they have questions and along the way, they can always call me. I'm glad to answer questions. Typically that does help because there are things that the lender sees and the underwriter sees that we need to overcome. And we typically want to address that. So anything I do need to manage between you guys, I certainly can. But absolutely, no, you guys, unless you say, hey, Matt, I need to find a good lender, but I figured you guys have been in the business long enough. You've had enough success with particular lenders, and I want you to stay on that.
Okay, there's another realtor here with me, and she has a question.
Sure.
Okay, so you said earlier, did you say y'all get the forms ready to send over to the lender, or do y'all send the lender the forms once they're ready or once they're completed?
You know what? So say like you're the referral source, right? And you're the one who referred the client. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know that the borrower is ready. I'll let the lender know. So it's whoever I'm communicating with. As soon as we give the green light. I'm either communicating with yourself or the lender or both to say they're ready to go. Yeah.
And so through the portal, you can send those documents over to the lender to us, everyone.
Yeah, so only the client can, right? Because that's proprietary information. That's information we can't even see. They have particular spots to upload, say like the W-2s, if they're self-employed, whatever, they'll have all those over. And whenever we're ready to go, they'll have a button that will allow them to share those documents directly with the lender.
Okay.
And they can choose to share them with you guys as well. We can see that they completed it, but we don't have access because it is, more personal information.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so this next one we're going to hop in right here is on a call. Sorry about that, guys. The next one we're hopping into here is going to actually show you what it looks like on the client's end. Again, we even throw, and you'll see where they actually get identity theft monitoring and protection as well. They get up to $1 million of identity theft insurance as they're in the process of this. They'll have learning resources that we're even going to assign them weekly to keep these guys engaged, as well as being able to keep up, refresh their credit, get the coaching on their credit every 30 days. They're going to have a money path that's going to show them particular coaching, budgeting. They'll have a budgeting tool in here, allow them to track their spending, manage their budget. And we're going to set those budgets up accordingly to what their goals are. If we got guys that are far off from their down payment, we might have more of an aggressive budgeting plan that we can put into place for these guys based off of somebody that's already good to go on that end, where we strictly need to focus on credit. So where did you go? Uh-oh, did it kick me out? No, there it is. Okay, cool. You guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, do you see the welcome your path loan approval starts here?
Yes.
Awesome, even better. Okay, so loan readiness score again. I kind of already broke that down simply. As that number gets higher, that means they've got their down payment money together. They're doing the paperwork. They're following the learning resources. They're reviewing their credit. So everything is going to be based off of those 4 major elements. This is what it's going to look like for them. So as a kind of a breakdown. So whenever I'm calling you guys, this is kind of this stuff that we're going to be covering. As far as how close they are getting their down payment goals, what their DTI looks like. Credit again is great. If we can get them, say, over a 640, but their DTI is sitting at a 46%, we can get them down to a 42%. That's going to increase their buying power, potentially open up more inventory for them to buy on. And, ultimately, again, just means bigger commission. I know in the long haul of things, you guys are ultimately there to help as well. That's why you're in the business. You're giving somebody a lifelong, achievement or a future. So I love that. They do have a personalized coach. You'll see Alex, you'll see Casey, you'll see Aiden. We have those are the 3 right now, but essentially they come from the mortgage industry. Alex has spent a ton of time in the mortgage business herself. Casey has been driven with financial wellness and financial coaching. So we have different, different strokes for different folks. If we ever feel like it's one or the other, we're pretty strategic on who we'll assign them to. And then you'll have me and the monkey in the middle that will answer any questions, guide these guys, make sure that they're staying motivated, they're hyped up, and that they see the end result. So let's hop into the credit piece. Come on. Whenever they do review their credit, again, this is something that they'll start on their end. It is the same investigation technology we've been using for 15 years. Extremely successful. It is a digital platform. We do walk the client through being able to start the investigations themselves. What we've learned is whenever we were actually sending them out, this will allow them to stop, get this dispute verbiage removed, things like that. That kind of could be a holdup for the borrower. Also, I have additional information. If you guys ever run across that and the lender is struggling, I have a whole email that tells the borrower exactly what to do, how to get those remarks removed off their credit. If that's something stopping them, please let me know. I have tons of resources. Everybody from some of the top guys over at Equifax to you name it. So if there's anything that we have hesitations on or issues with, let me know. They even have like a credit simulator that will allow these guys to understand what the impact of each item on the credit is and what that looks like if they remove it. The only scary thing that I run across like with lenders and what if simulators is a lot of the times it's like, hey, take care of this, take care of that. Well, at the same time, if something's not removed properly or if they don't get their letter of deletion, what'll happen is they'll pay that debt off. It'll renew as a brand new collection. Their score will actually go down. We have a list of creditors that we know that will do typically the pay for deletes. We know, in a ballpark of how to coach them through how low they can go to settle on those accounts, you name it. You will also see, oh, here, I guess I'm done with that section. Sorry about that, guys. Click through all this fun stuff here. Okay, that's gonna make me go all the way through it. I'm terribly sorry, guys. You guys are gonna have to deal with all my clicks here for a minute. Money section. This is super cool. Personally, like, I'm not looking to buy a house right now. I'm using this for myself to set a financial goal of what I want to save. Because just having this in front of me, it is amazing how much money you can save whenever you're actually seeing your budget and you're seeing these bubbles go from green to yellow to red and you're setting based off of your entertainment. There's a lot of things that we realize that we really don't need and that there is money available to save. Mine is golf. I spend way too much money on golf, and it's a sick habit. But there's things that I've been able to do to manage to cut back and just be able to save money in general. They can even see they obviously they punch in their information here, so they can punch in their checking where the money's going to manage their spending. What it'll also do is prompt if they have any additional subscriptions that they're unaware of, or anything else to let them know where their money's going. So that way there's being able to maximize every dime that's coming through the door. It even breaks down the transactions, spending, breaks down into a graph, like where their money's going. I tell you what, whenever I first started seeing this did make me feel pretty bad, but I am really glad I had it. So even a trend on what their spending looks like, where their money's going, what their debts are, so all that fun stuff is available for these borrowers. These are things that we can coach on as well. Documents. This is what I was talking about on this, just to answer your question, Margaret, and your friend there. This is where they're actually able to go in, and it has a checklist, based off what the lender needs. This checklist will be bigger or smaller. As they fill this out, they'll be able to knock out all this information, and then once they're done, they'll be able to send it directly to the lender. This is a brand new tool that we just added, the identity theft monitoring and protection. super, super pumped about this. You know, I don't know if any of you guys ran across situations like this where you're getting very, very close to the last thing, something happens, somebody opens up a card or an account in somebody's name, and it shoots them out of the ballpark of where they need to be. That's exactly why this is here. Again, it does come with the insurance side. And last but not least, they do get a learning center. So we will assign these as actual tasks as they're going along to keep them engaged, make sure that they're learning and they understand, you know, what they're saving for and understand the terminology and what closing costs look like, or, you know, why there's mortgage insurance, to help them understand best, you know, what's going on in the process. So this is their side. This is what they get available here. So I guess I'll open it back up to you guys. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay,
right
good,
now.
good.
I have one.
Okay, yes, we
Sure.
have one.
Okay, so when you were talking about behavior modification,
Mhm.
basically you just work with the client to see what their needs are, where they are on their credit, to kind of guide them to where they need to be.
Yeah, no, great question. So yeah, credit and financially, right? You know, the goal is to make sure that they're doing the right things. Obviously, a big part of that is credit, but obviously modifying their behaviors, even as far as their budgeting, or as far as just understanding why they should open up an account or why they shouldn't pay off an auto loan, or yeah, absolutely, and helping them, you know, break those, right? Not getting new late payments, or not doing anything that's going to compromise them buying a home.
Okay, and the reason I asked that question is because I have one client that has been with a credit restoration company for about a year, and they're frustrated because they're like, they should be further along now and they're not.
Sure.
And so I don't know if there are things that that company told them to do or not to do, but now it's like, again, they're just you know,
Frustrated.
frustrated. Yeah.
Well, that would be a perfect client to send over, and just let me do a consultation and I'll just take a look. I'll do a soft pull and break down, because maybe there's just a few things that we can knock out, or I can coach them through to save them time to where they're not just wasting all this money on a credit repair company.
Right.
A lot of the
Okay.
times there are ways to burn the candle at both ends. I'm a big, big fan of that. Whenever I say that, obviously they're working on their credit end, but if there's things like there's a couple of credit card charge-offs, they need to lower their credit card balances. They need to, you know, close an account or get it added in as an authorized user, get taken off as an authorized user, and something that's going to get them there. I am a huge, huge, huge fan. If it cuts their time in half, I'm excited about that.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, keep in mind, like if you got a customer coming in, and right now we're seeing a lot of this in the market, they're getting pre-qualified, but because of interest rates or because of the market scare that they're like a little hesitant. If I can even potentially better their situation, get them into a better quality loan, or get them approved for more, you know, more into the neighborhood they want, you know, keep those guys in mind too.
Okay, great.
Okay, I have another question. What's the process for getting started? Is there like you send out a text, or I call you and say, hey, I have my client on the line. What's our next step? What's the process?
Yeah. So for you guys, first of what I'll do is I'll build you guys a professional portal. And for that, you know, really just like name, email, and phone number initially. And then what I'll do is I'll get that portal started for you guys. You can always go in and pop the client in directly through the portal. If you have more information to provide me, my goodness, don't hesitate, you know, shoot me a text or an email and say, hey, this is their situation. So you'll have three ways. You can call, or email, text, call me, or just pop onto the portal yourself and enter those clients in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so nothing too complicated. The ultimate goal is just to get more deals closed for you guys. Make sure that the client's in a good position and understands what they're accomplishing. What I would like to do, guys, is for anybody that any of you guys that do feel like this is going to be a big benefit for you, which I would recommend any of you guys, an extra tool in the tool belt never hurts anybody. After we get off of here, I don't know if you guys have something to write on, because I don't think I have your email here. I guess, let me see, where is the text? usually chat. You guys can either throw your email here on the chat right here for me. What I'll do is I'll shoot you guys an email afterwards. That way you'll have my information, and then I can get that portal bill for you guys as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. You know, please don't hesitate with questions. Again, I think my number one focus is to make that you guys understand best, and that you have me here for you.
I'm entering my email into the chat.
Awesome.
And I'll keep you mine.
All right. Yeah, Brooks and Davis, nice and easy. And again, Lashavia, you're also going to have this, you know, for anybody else that wants this down the road here or has any questions. All right, Elmore. Hey, Elmore, is that what is Laverne, right?
Yes, Laverne. Yes.
Okay, there we go. Awesome. Perfect. And then when I also have another piece that I'll get you guys out. I think the Shaven might have sent it out, but it'll be a client one sheet for you guys, something for the professionals, as well as a short video. So if anybody has questions, obviously you can send that over to them as well.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Awesome, guys. I certainly appreciate your time. Mike, have a great day. Everyone have a great day. And if anybody else asks, just like I said, pass out my information. I don't care, you know, who gets it. So we're good.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Well, have a good day. Thank you for joining today's training.
Thanks.